tuned it in. Global and worldwide. Hitting you on the one with no delay. Because it's the fighter's voice. The fighter's voice. With your fighting host, Richard Ortiz. And the formidable co-host, Mr. Cole Escovedo. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
Fresno, California, we're live here in Matter Production Studios, the Fighter's Voice Knockout Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a great show for you. Man, I'm eating something. That happens to me all the time. We got to get tongue twisted. We got a great show for you today. That's that carne asada. That's those tacos, man. That's the difference between homemade flour tortilla and store market tortilla. It'll get you all the time. The cheap stuff always gets to me. So if you're making homemade tortillas, get a hold of me. You got my website. You got my address. Get a hold of me. Enough said, man. We got a great show for you, just like I said. We're going to break down this Friday's fight with Virgil Ortiz Jr. 15-0, 15 knockouts, and no losses. We're going to break it down, the whole card of Golden Boy. Golden Boy's making their first run ever since Top Rank just started taking over. When I say taking over, it's because they dare themselves to be great. And they're being great this evening with Elvis Rodriguez, who's going to be on the card out of Wild Card Gym. Freddie Roach, the master, the professor, the legend himself, who'll be in studio in August. So that's what we're looking forward to. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you boxing personality himself, the one, the only, Mr. Omar Godinez. Did I say it right?
You said it right.
I said it right.
Godinez.
Godinez.
Yeah.
As a ring announcer, man, I always got to make sure I get it right. That doesn't mean I always do, Omar, but most of the time I do, man.
If you try, that's what matters, right?
Yeah, you got to try, but I don't want to chop up your name, man.
That's right.
But I was chopping up the tortillas today.
Oh,
actually, I couldn't get these out of my, this is where it is, ladies and gentlemen. See these cough drops right here, man? They get stuck. They get stuck and, it does what it does. But, let's talk some boxing, man. I mean, we've been talking about bringing you on the show for a while now. You're here. You cleared your schedule, which I appreciate, man. Let's break it down because tonight, as we're speaking, people are watching Top Rank Boxing live. And you got the new stars coming up like Elvis Rodriguez, man. I mean, he's making a name for himself, man. What's your whole take on this young guy making noise here in the division?
He's one of those new guys that just he's just trying to take over that division. He's got the talent. He's got the right people behind him. I mean, Freddie Roach, what can get any better than that, right?
Exactly. With him in the corner, and he knows what he brings to the table.
Right.
Freddie knows what he has, and you know what? He's bringing them up nice and slow, careful, being smart. But you know what? The man needs to get some rounds in because he's demolishing his opponents.
Exactly. He's like this, the other top-ranked fighter right now, the Edgar Berlanga. Just get rid of everybody. Get rid of everybody.
First round, man.
We don't even get a chance to see their skills throughout the rounds.
That's like a throwback of John the Beast Mugabe, 25-0, 25 knockouts until he took on the marvelous one, Marvin Hagler. Hagler took him in deep waters, and the rest is history.
Exactly.
But I think now that, Mugabe didn't have a Freddie Roach in the corner. Mugabe didn't have a Robert Garcia in the corner, a Miguel Robles, a Buddy McGirt, et cetera, et cetera. And you know what? I also want to talk about the training, man. The guys in your corner, they make all the difference. What's your take knowing that it's so vital to have a good team together?
Absolutely. I think that's why some people move from their hometowns to the bigger towns like LA and other towns like that where they're going to get that quality sparring. That's why a lot of people go to Wild Card. The sparring there is just absolutely probably the best, aside from, you have Robert Garcia and them next door, but the sparring there, the quality you get from everybody in that gym is just, it's going to skyrocket your skills.
You've been talking to Gabriel Flores Sr., Jr., Team Flores, because that's what, they made the move from Stockton, California, exactly, which they love. They made it to Las Vegas, and he said, Richard, just to get the sparring, man, and just to get Junior out there noticed, and as if the opportunity to shine when you're up against strong opposition. It's okay to be the strongest guy in the gym, but when you got to work hard for it, hey, it goes a long way.
And you know what? Like they always say, right? The fights are won in the gym.
I believe.
You fight. You get all that quality training out of the way. Once you get to the ring, it's just like second nature, right?
Second nature, man. You know what? Let's talk about, again, Virgil Ortiz. And talking about the corner, man, I mean, the gym that he's working out at, Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. Now, you get to see, well, we don't get to see, but the sparring that goes on there, Virgil Ortiz, Mikey Garcia, Jose Ramirez, and they even mix it up with some big middleweights. The who's who, you never know who's going to walk through those doors.
Exactly. And Virgil Ortiz is a monster already. He is a big 147-pounder, and I cannot wait to see what he does to that division. And who knows, maybe we'll have that huge Texas showdown with him and Errol Spence.
Wow.
Maybe not at 147. Maybe it'll happen at 154. But
Yeah.
we will see. It all depends on how Errol
I want to see how he handles himself when he comes back.
performs
Exactly.
after the car accident. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what? I talked about that last time on the show, and time is on his side right now because there's a healing process. I mean, you got to remember the man was thrown out of an automobile and fortunate and blessed to be alive.
And face first.
Yes, face first.
Landed. You saw the video.
Yeah.
I think everybody saw the video.
Yeah, everybody saw the video.
Errol somehow has made like a miraculous recovery, and he's just wants to get back in the ring. I mean, he just went to war with Sean Porter last year, and now he's looking for another war with Danny Garcia. So,
that'd be a good fight because Danny
Yeah.
Garcia, he's exactly what he says he is. He's swift.
Yeah.
Because you know what, he'll act like a nice guy, but he'll take you into deep waters, man, and he'll drown you. You can't sleep on Garcia.
you can't sleep on that left hand.
No,
Not
you
that left
can't.
hand.
No, you can't. And you said Sean Porter. Big shout out to Sean Porter and my buddy Alexander, Alex. Styles make fights, man. You keep making those styles make fights. Bring that gear over here. Send it over here to the Fighter's Voice. We'll rock it. We'll talk it. We'll be it. We'll live it. And we'll rock it again, man, like I want to say. So Sean Porter, he's a guy in the welterweight division.
Right.
If I was a manager, if I had a fighter, I would avoid Sean Porter because he's going to make you look bad. He's going to force you to fight. He's going to come in with his head, and he's going to be pushing every second of that fight.
He's got that football player instinct. He played football.
You know
back,
what? You're the second person to tell me that this week.
and he is a
Big shout out to Shally in Stockton.
that is a tough customer to anybody. I don't know. What'd you think about the Sean Porter and Ugas fight? Did you watch that?
I watched that fight. I watched it over and over again. I had my mixed reactions about that.
Right.
I did because I also had my mixed reactions about the style that he chose to fight.
Yeah.
Stick to what's working, man. What's working is that brawling, that aggressive, that tenacity, that pedigree that you have from his dad, because his dad's an OG right there.
And I think a lot of it had to do with Ugas being who he is. He's a Cuban, and everybody knows about the Cuban boxing school,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They bring that into the ring, and it confuses a lot of people.
Yeah.
And Sean Porter, I think he tried to brawl, and Ugas just didn't allow it and tried to box him. And
No, man. I mean, hey, you got to know when and where.
Yeah,
And you got to know how to transition. And speaking of transition, man, I'm looking forward to Jose Ramirez. Rumor has it he's going to be stepping in the ring in August. There hasn't been an actual date, and I even heard rumor that it may be around the corner. I'm not too certain exactly now with this coronavirus going around, but we're talking about a man who's been putting it on, and then they turn it off, putting it on, and then turning it off. But he's always in shape. He enjoys the gym, but most of all, he enjoys fighting tough opposition, man. What's your take on the return of Jose Ramirez?
it's been canceled twice now, right? Victor Postol, they were going to fight in China in January.
Yes.
Got canceled, and it was scheduled here for May 8th,
Yes.
I believe, May
Yes.
9th, at the Save Mart Center. That got canceled. But Jose's always ready.
Jose
is
ready.
always ready. He's always training. He's still hungry, as if he were not the champion, as if he didn't have 2 belts, right?
Yeah.
I favor Jose in that fight. I believe he will beat Postol. And listen, I look forward to.
Postol's a good jab, though. He's happy. It's not gonna be easy task.
No, not at all. Not at all. Absolutely not. But I do look forward to him winning that fight, and maybe that showdown with Josh Taylor, get all the belts and move up.
Well, I tell you what, man. If he doesn't get that showdown with Josh Taylor, I know somebody who's just gonna go over there and just fight him himself. And I'm talking about, man, his manager, man. He's just animated. Rick Meridian, man. If Jose don't get the shot, Rick's gonna go over there down to the UK, talk to Eddie Hearn, talk to him all, and say, man, bring your boy out here. I'll get in the ring with him. Because I think right now Rick needs to fight. Rick needs to do something, man. He has all this energy. He's cooking and stuff and making jokes and whatnot. I mean, he's like a shark out of water. He just wants to bite everything in sight.
And the beauty of Jose, he'll fight anywhere.
Yes, he will.
He'll go to Josh Taylor's backyard, and he'll fight him there.
You know what?
It doesn't matter.
We talked about that, and I think, he would go down to the UK. He would welcome it. I mean, Pro Grace went down there, and it was a good fight. He went down there because he had the confidence thinking he was going to knock him out. And he put a good account of himself. It was a very close fight.
Excellent fight. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be that way. I thought Prograis was actually going to stop him, and Josh just showed something else.
You know what? I'm going to say it here, man, and it is what it is. Josh fought like a Mexicano.
He did.
He did. Tough dude, man.
He was not backing
He was not going to
down.
be denied that night.
Exactly. He had the body punches going and everything. But you know what? They showed respect at the end of the fight.
Yes, they did.
They started talking trash afterwards,
Yeah.
but it's all right.
Yeah, that's part of it. But see, that's one thing about Top Rank. They want to make the biggest fights happen right now. So what do? They go sign Josh Taylor because we want something to materialize in the 140. We control the 4 belts now.
Right.
So the winner is going to, take on our 147 pound for pound, and that's Bud Crawford. And I remember Jose Ramirez making reference to, I want to fight Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford really never said anything back. It wasn't until recently, about 3 weeks ago, that he finally popped off and said, hey, man, this is how I feel about Jose coming up, and he didn't shy away.
He didn't shy away at all. He said, I will crush Jose Ramirez. And that's a bold statement. Jose is not I know he's never fought at 147, but he is not a pushover, and he's not going to be a pushover at 147. And it won't be an easy fight for Bud.
It won't be an easy fight either way. It's going to be a great fight for us, the fans, the followers, and the supporters. I'm looking forward to that. But Jose Ramirez still has business in the 140-pound division. And I'm glad he's just not rushing and as if to say, okay, I want to fight Bud Crawford. It's not so much he wants to fight Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford has a certain title that Jose wants, and that's that pound-for-pound title. I know we can argue all day about Canelo. We can argue all day about Lomachenko.
Right.
Either or, put them in any order you want.
Right. You know, I think I have Lomachenko on top of Crawford.
Oh, you do? Well,
I
that's
do.
a whole different conversation,
I do.
Omar. That's a whole different conversation because okay, then let's talk Lomachenko then. Because I got Teofimo Lopez, he's not ready to lay down. And also, we have this youngster that just moved up to 130 pounds. Give him 2 more fights or 1 more fight. And I'm talking about the rawness, the sharpness, and being advised by team oh my gosh, Andre Ward, and you know who I'm talking about, man.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
That would be a great fight.
That would be.
Shakur, my man.
Shakur's
He's
young.
special.
He's young. He's fast, lightning fast. He's Mayweather fast when he was
special,
in that
man.
weight class. His defense is, I think he's got the record for not being hit in a fight, right? This guy doesn't.
Well,
get hit.
he's very elusive. He has a great technique, and he has some God-given talent, man.
He doesn't get hit. I think in one round, in one fight, he got hit like 7 times. You know, he's got the Mayweather defense, but possibly even better. We won't know yet, obviously, but we'll see how that goes.
See, a fight like that, either way, he's going to come out a winner. Say they make the fight and it's early in his career, he takes the L. Say he does. I think that's the equivalent of Canelo taking that L against Mayweather. It's going to make him a better fighter.
Yeah, nobody's going to fault him for losing against the best fighter in the world.
No.
So Shakur,
Speaking of Canelo, I wanted to ask you, man. Hey,
do
you
it.
met Canelo backstage, right? How long ago was that?
Oh, it was when he almost got knocked out by Miguel Cotto's brother.
Oh, yeah.
This was...
Yeah, he was hurt.
May.
First round or second round?
First round. 10 years ago in May.
Okay.
And I met him. He was just walking around the MGM Grand because
You ain't going to catch that again. That ain't going to happen again.
He was. Oh no, never again.
No.
He was not known. He's just walking around, and I recognize him, and I took that picture with him, and I probably will never get a picture with him again.
And now, didn't you meet Dana White at the weigh-in or something, or you talked to him?
That was at the Mayweather versus Canelo fight. I met Dana White at that weigh-in, and that's a whole different experience too. But
And because of this coronavirus, he hasn't really showed his face around. But Dana White is a huge boxing fan. I mean, he picked up boxing himself. He was actually going to have an exhibition fight with Tito Ortiz. Ortiz pulled out. That was, I want to say, 15 years ago.
wow, I didn't know Dana fought. You said he fights.
No, he was an amateur,
Okay.
and he loves the sweet science. But he was going to have an exhibition, friendly exhibition, boss against Tito Ortiz and Dana White. And Dana White was trimming down. He was taking it serious.
That would have been something to watch.
Well, I mean, what about the respect? Hey, bro, let's get it on then. If you want to chirp, let's go.
You know what? And we all know Tito Ortiz is the talker, right? So.
Oh my God, he is a talker. I was just talking about the interview I did with him just yesterday. Mm-hmm. He's a talker, but he's a true professional. But he knows when he knows the cameras, he knows when to turn it on.
He sells it. He
Exactly.
He sells his fights, and he sells them well. that's why that rivalry with him and Chuck were so great.
Exactly.
Everybody knew the feud was actually there.
And the feud was real.
Yeah.
LeVar Johnson, big LeVar Johnson, Madera, California, UFC veteran, he shared with me, he goes, when I was talking to Tito Ortiz, he told me, he said, LeVar, early in their career, there's no middle ground. They're going to love you or hate you.
Right.
Either or, man. There's no nice guys here. They're going to love you or they're going to hate you. One of the two.
And he chose to become the villain.
And they're going to love to hate you.
Exactly. He chose to become the villain, which is what Floyd did, right? Floyd,
Exactly. See, there's different Floyd Mayweathers. You have Pretty Boy Floyd. You have just Floyd Mayweather, and then you have Money Mayweather. Money Mayweather is very smart. He's grown, and he is what he is, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired of people wanting him to come back and fight Canelo and do all this other stuff, man. He rocked the sport.
He did,
and that's all there is to it.
He did. He's talking about coming back for an exhibition fight, but
exhibition's fine.
This is money. This is the Money Mayweather now that we're talking about. But Pretty Boy, unfortunately, we'll never see that again. But
no. I mean, Roger in his corner, and they had great chemistry, and of course, he learned it all from his father, and his father had that shoulder roll back in the day. He even fought Sugar Ray Leonard back in the day. Roger fought Julio Cesar Chavez, Cassius Zoo.
Right.
So I mean, that Mayweather family, they're a boxing family.
Floyd Sr. actually just had a video not so long ago with that shoulder roll. He still has it.
Oh, you know what?
He still has it.
He's shredded. He's ripped to shreds. I was watching a video. He was going jogging with Fresno's own Repo Rick.
Okay.
And he was telling him, man, he goes, hey, what's wrong with you? He goes, get up, keep up. I mean, he's in great shape, man.
Yeah, he's
still has speed.
He still has it. He still has this. I don't think that skill will ever go away.
No, it seems to come natural. But you know what? What I'm looking forward to, man, is this Friday. Golden Boy Productions, Oscar De La Hoya, man. Golden Boy, they're making it happen again. And awesome, great matchmaking by Roberto Diaz, who's actually going to be a guest with us next Wednesday here on The Fighter's Voice, so make sure you tune in. And on the undercard, I want to talk about the undercard. You got a kid from Parlier, Evan Sanchez, who's managed by Joao De La Hoya, the brother of Oscar De La Hoya, who just signed a great promotion deal with Adidas Boxing. He's in good hands, man. I mean, this kid hits like a mule truck. I seen him work out in Selma, California, at from Main Events, man. Great gym there. It's actually a Robert Garcia's boxing academy, but it's ran in Selma. Big Al Perez, and he's making it happen, man. And they work out there, and the kid hits hard, man.
He's a big welterweight.
He has everything. Good-looking kid too. Clean cut, well-mannered, well-groomed. He's the real deal.
He actually speaks to my daughter. She was on FaceTime with him on Sunday night, I believe.
Yeah.
And he actually went to my house for a Canelo fight to go watch it. And I looked at him and I said, "What's your weight class?" And he said, when he said welterweight, I looked at him. I was like, "Yeah, how are you making welterweight?" But he's a big kid, and that's probably where he gets all that power from.
Oh, he does, man. He generates that power, and he does things the right way. His father, Omar, has put him in gloves since, I believe, the age of 6 years old. And, that whole family's class act. And we'll be rooting for Evan Sanchez come this Friday, representing Parlier. He's rocking the green. And I saw the inside joke. Omar says, only people from Parlier would understand. And we understand, man, because we're supporting Golden Boy's upcoming prospects and contenders, man.
He's got a good future.
No, he does.
He does. He's got a real good future, and he's... How old is he now? He's 20?
I want to say 2021.
2021. He hasn't even hit his prime yet.
No, man, no. But let's talk about the original main event. The original main event was supposed to be Ryan Garcia on the main event. And for whatever reasons, money, prestige, the title shot, I don't know exactly what's going on in his life. He believes in himself, does have the talent. But you really don't want to upset your boss, man. You don't want to upset the opportunity to fight, because right now fights are hard to come by. Canelo not fighting, Bud Crawford not fighting, every top 10 fighter not fighting. They have not entered the ring yet. Let's dust off the rust. Let's take the opportunity and perform to give us, the followers, the fans, exactly what makes you. And we make the fighter. We support the fighter. And I say that, Ryan Garcia, because I was really looking forward to watching you and display your skill set. But what did Oscar do? He said, okay, Virgil Ortiz, you are now the face of Golden Boy, besides, of course, Canelo, who's the DAZN man.
This is the second time that this has happened with Ryan. Last September, he had an opponent that he was going to fight, and I think you remember he had a warrant or something. The opponent had a warrant. Yes. So I went to the fight anyway, where Jaime Munguia was fighting.
Yeah.
So That was canceled. And now July 4th was canceled. But in between there, he signed what he claimed to be the biggest contract there was.
And everything was supposed to be fine and dandy.
Everything was great. And now maybe they didn't offer him as much money as he wanted, but you have to fight. There are no fans out there.
Yeah.
And your skills, not that they're diminishing, but you have to show the skills in the ring.
Let him blossom. And what I'm saying is he has the same kind of star power as every fighter in that division that's holding a belt. He doesn't hold the belt, but listen, you're going to hold the belt if you put on a great performance.
Exactly.
You have to stay active in this sport of boxing.
And he stays active, and he keeps showing the skills, and he keeps training with Team Canelo like he is, and he's getting better and better. I mean, nobody expected him to knock out Fortuna in one round.
No, I didn't.
Especially when Fortuna gave the fight that he did to Tank Davis.
Yeah.
When he knocked him out in the first round, and then, the whole Jorge Linares fight was supposed to come to play, and now you're just not stepping into the ring. Everybody wants to see you against Linares or even against Devin Haney. Everybody wants to see that fight. So, but if you're not stepping in the ring, then what's...
Tank Davis is a monster, man. He's just a beast. And to me, until somebody tames that monster, my money's on him.
But what do you think about Tank gaining so much weight between fights?
Well, that's not healthy. I mean, but he's naturally a big guy. That's not healthy because he can get away with it now because he's young, but it's going to have its wear and tear. I mean, there's only one Roberto Duran who can drop all that weight, go up and down, up and down.
Right.
But it takes off livelihood in your career, and it's not healthy.
Absolutely. And, this last fight that he had, he just looked so drained. He looked weak. I mean, he didn't make weight. I think he missed by 2 pounds.
Exactly.
And he's
second time he missed weight.
He's already a big person for that division. But I think he's got a little bit of the Broner thing going where he likes to party in between fights, and that's not good. That's not good. You got to, like these guys say, right? Stay in shape. That way you never have to get in shape.
Well, Broner
right?
recently been in the gym. He's trying to shed that off.
Saw that.
Because you know what? He knows it's the perfect time right now to make a move. Because he's in between weights.
Right. I'd like to see him stay at 147. That's
I would
fine.
too.
I mean, if he would be able to drop down to 140,
that'd be great.
He'd give people a hell of a fight.
That'd be great.
Because he didn't carry that power to 147. His power was all at 135, carried it up a little bit at 140, but once he got to 147, what happened? He encountered good old Chino Maidana, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of tamed him a little bit.
Well, Chino's going to make you fight.
Exactly.
And the activity that went on in the beginning of the fight didn't help either.
Right.
But Chino, he stood in the pocket. He stood disciplined, but he let it. Hey, man, when it comes back around, no one's exempt from it.
Exactly. And like I said, if he stays at 147, he still has good fights left in him. He
reminds me of a modern day Hector Macho Camacho.
There you go.
Because and had the chin. Hector Macho Camacho's never been knocked out. It's been dropped, never been knocked out.
Right.
Adrian Broner has an iron chin. I mean, that mass is all in his back. He's a strong dude, man.
Big neck.
Yeah,
He's got the
exactly. Big neck. But a modern day Hector Macho Camacho.
Yeah, and like I said, if he stays disciplined and he keeps training, he still has a future, So we'll see what happens.
I like to see him do it now, Omar, because he's the type of fighter that I believe 4 years out of retirement he'll want to come back, like Camacho.
Yeah.
And then I hope he doesn't take a fight that he shouldn't take.
Right, and gets damaged.
Yeah, exactly. And that's that longevity, man. He's a likable guy. I think if he tames his act, I mean, I would love to see a disciplined person on the microphone commentating. I mean, he knows exactly what's going on in the business inside and out. Cincinnati, they don't come any tougher than my man. And he's actually a very nice guy. Ali Setback said recently, he said, there's a lot of things people don't know about him, about Adrian Broner.
Right.
A lot of things that he does for the public. A lot of things that he likes to do and give back to society. But, of course, the media is just taking over. And I got to side with Ali Setback this time because the media is just going crazy now.
They are.
I mean, heaven forbid. I know this is off the subject. You can have a plane crash. The plane will crash, and the media say, "Oh, they all died from the coronavirus."
Exactly.
And that's a whole different conversation there.
Right.
But since we brought that up, man, Jamal Herring, Simplify, tested positive, was cleared, walks into the bubble, tests positive again. But yet they let him know that he's eligible to fight in late July, if possible. I don't understand exactly why they won't give these champions or these fighters that bust their butt, punish their body, and say, you know what, we're going to give you a second test right now, just to make sure.
Well, they did give them the second test, right?
Yes.
And then it came back negative.
Exactly.
Why didn't they let him fight?
That's what I'm saying. It's not like, okay, it wasn't your turn. We're talking about a fighter and preparation of the fighter.
Right.
Doing what needs to be done. The preparation, being professional, cutting the weight, the sparring, the long hours. And plus, you don't get to see your family. The situations that we have now really can't go outside.
Right.
And yet you don't give this guy a second opportunity. But yet, if there was a PGA tour or a golf tournament, we definitely do that.
And I understand. They have to take their precautions, and they don't want to contaminate it on the off chance that somehow that second test was wrong. They don't want him bring him in and possibly contaminate everybody.
I get that.
I understand that, but when it all comes down to it, this virus is just it's messing up a lot of things for a lot of people. There's a livelihood for a lot of these guys.
Exactly. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
I do. It's just I just wish at least we would give them a second opportunity before we have them exit from the bubble.
Right, and well, I hope that this time his July fight will stick.
I do too, man. I mean, he reaches out to me, we communicate, and he's happy-go-lucky, man. He doesn't let that disrupt him or his family, being a father, being a husband, being a true professional, being a Marine, and just being a good person overall.
He is a humble person, I actually got to meet him at the Veterans Hospital.
Oh, okay.
And he was giving away tickets to his fight and stuff like that, and just a good guy. And I've sent him messages on Twitter and stuff like that, and he replies to everybody. He's just one of those guys,
He does. We had an interview, I want to say about 2 or 3 interviews ago. He said, Richard, everybody that I follow, when it's their birthday, I'll take my time and I'll say happy birthday to him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good dude, and I hope he has that fight in July, because I know he wants to fight. He's been ready. And let me tell you, him training with Bud Crawford is only gonna make him better.
I like the do's and don'ts about that. Well, I'll tell you what I like about it is the competitiveness inside the gym. Right. My concern is sparring with a 147-pound monster.
Yeah.
And when he starts to get competitive,
we're talking about a monster.
Yes, exactly. And when those right hands start to fly, that's the only concern that I have. But other than that, man, I mean, I love what he stands for in the sport of boxing. Right. And he's a likable guy, man.
Well, I know you've probably had more conversations than a lot of other people, right, with him. Is he talking about moving up to 147?
No, not at all. Not at all. He wants to try to unify and get those big fights at 130. Actually, his preference, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it, my man, is Santa Cruz.
Okay.
So why not go for the gusto, man? You're gonna swing for the fences.
Right. And I mean, I think they're trying to make the Santa Cruz and Tank fight right
yes,
now, right?
Exactly.
So what do you think about that fight? You don't think Santa Cruz is too small for Tank?
I think he is, but I think a lot of questions will be answered. I think he is, but I don't want to downgrade his will.
Right.
If there's going to be a style,
absolutely.
If it's going to be a style. Now, if he can eat that right hand, Tank, I'm going to say it right now, Tank is in for a long night, because he will get taken into deep waters and he will get drowned. Now, if he can, if Tank can impose his will, then you're just going to see, hey, this man was a bigger fighter, stronger fighter.
And I think if Leo goes in there smart and,
I believe so.
And uses his height advantage and his reach advantage,
listen, man,
and keeps him at bay.
Listen. Yeah. Go in there smart. You talk about any Mexican fighter. We're talking about the Barreras, the Moraleses, and Salvador Sanchez, Julio Cesar Chavez. As soon as they get hit, they turn into Holyfield, which just wants to hit you right back and go to war.
Well, that's another great topic for this next fight that's going to come up tonight, right? Oscar Valdez is fighting tonight.
Yes. If coming off that broken jaw, my man.
Oh my goodness, you can't question.
I was actually there on that fight. Andy Vincent was on the undercard.
Yeah, I remember you were there. I can't imagine what it's like to fight with a broken jaw.
Kenny Norton, man.
Paulie Malignaggi fought with a broken.
Victor Ortiz.
Victor Ortiz did. Paulie fought with a broken jaw against Cotto. But if Oscar Valdez wins tonight, which I believe he will, what's your take on it? I do not want to see him fight Burchell.
No, I mean, because the style's not going to match up in his favor, because he just loses all the game plan and just leaves his chin out there and says, come on, let's swap. And you can't do that nowadays. You got to be smart. You got to get on the bicycle and be elusive. Canelo don't sit there and swap. Canelo is a boxer, puncher.
Head movement.
Yeah, a lot of movement. There's a lot of Floyd Mayweather and Canelo.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you learned a lot from that loss.
Absolutely, along with a lot of Julio Cesar Chavez, the Badia.
Yeah.
But he took all the strengths of the best fighters, and then you have a Canelo.
And you know what? I think you're right. This goes back to the Leo and Tank fight. Oscar Valdez doesn't know how to. He's a great boxer, but he does not know how to keep it that way. Once he gets hit, he wants to just engage. And Burchell, that monster is not a person to engage with.
Omar, if you souped up your car and it drives great, okay?
Right.
And somebody says, no, don't do it that way. Try it this way. You're going to say, no, this works for me because I'm able to drive faster. I'm souping it up the way I know how to do it. What does he do? He's gonna be him. He's not gonna change anything.
He's gonna go back to his old ways.
Exactly. And I just want, like I said, if he can eat that right hand and say, okay, I'm here. I didn't go anywhere. I'm about to take you into deep waters. Then we're gonna really find out. The winner of that fight is going to say a lot for the division.
Oh, absolutely.
But I like the fact that he's stepping up and taking the fight. It's not as, Mikey Garcia took on Spence, answered a lot of questions. Okay, yeah, he's the bigger guy. And everybody was avoiding Spence. Mikey called him out and said, let's go, in your backyard.
Well, people just thought Mikey was going to get just knocked out.
Yeah, demolished.
I'll tell you what, he showed that chin.
Oh, he did?
He showed that chin. He was, he fought a way bigger guy. And that's just when it comes down to it. A way bigger guy in his prime. It wasn't just a bigger guy.
Mikey don't brag too much, but if you put him in a corner, he's going to let you know, I'll knock your ass out.
Yeah.
Because Mikey has street.
Yeah.
He does. He's cool down to earth, man. But
man.
No, he is. He was actually giving a fight lesson to a rapper that he had on Instagram.
Okay.
He was telling the guy, look, man, if the guy's already saying, this is what he says. He goes, hey, if he's talking shit already, he's already throwing hands. So just hit him. What are you going to let him set up and say, okay, we're going to fight now? He already engaged because he's talking shit to you.
Right. Don't let him
and
get
Mikey
in your face
just said,
like
boom. He said, this is when you hit him. And the guy goes, okay, like this. He goes, no, like this. And then that, Mikey, that playground kid that was not going to be bullied came out. And that's the way Mikey handles his boxing matches and his business. He hits you right in the face. And I'm talking about the success, the opportunity, and sometimes he'll wait it out to make the best decision for him. Mikey is a free agent, and he did it his way.
Right. And what do you? I know you have a good relationship with Robert Garcia and the entire family. What is Mikey's plan right now? Do you? Or are we not?
Mikey's plan right now is he's going to take another fight at 147. He's waiting for that Manny Pacquiao fight. That is the one that a lot of people are waiting for. Sean Gibbons, we went back and forth and said that would be a great fight, which means, okay, I'm not opposed to it. Who handles Manny Pacquiao promotions? And, I had Mikey Garcia on the show, and he was very excited. He said, I'm going to call him right now. But what's holding it is this whole coronavirus.
Right.
That fight needs to bring in the excess dollars that's entitled to both fighters, and that's going to be an open market. It has to be a live crowd. There's no other way around it right now.
I think that's the reason why the Teofimo Lopez-Lomachenko fights keeps getting pushed back.
They need fans. Exactly. You noticed that too, huh?
I noticed it. They pushed it back now to what, October?
Yes.
October 3rd, I believe.
Yes.
They need fans. Those fights need fans. You can't have Pacquiao Garcia without fans.
No,
you can't have
no.
Lomachenko Teofimo without fans. You just can't do it.
No, but as a greedy fan as myself that I still have, I want to see the fight take place better sooner than later.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to happen. I don't want something to happen or one fighter moves up and says, we're just not going to fight. But at the end of the day, man, we just got to make it happen some way, somehow, figure it out.
And I know Teofimo the other day was speaking of just that. Yeah. He said, I want Lomachenko now. I don't want to beat him later and people say, oh, you beat him because he got old.
Yeah.
I want to beat him now. Right now, where everybody says he's #1 in the world, I want to beat him right now. And Teofimo just wants to fight. And I think Lomachenko wants to fight too. But we'll see what happens.
On a different subject, man, Teofimo made a reference. Finally chirped back. Because I even brought it up. I said, look, you're a big 135-pounder.
Yes.
When are you going to move up to 140 pounds? And if you do, who would you like to fight? And when he's given it some thought, I said, would you consider Jose Ramirez? And every single time he answered with respect. He goes, oh, I would love to fight Jose Ramirez. He goes, we actually talked. Jose wants to move up to 147. I was full of respect. Now, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors or whatever, but I didn't hear Jose say this, but it was quote off an interview that Jose said, well, someone brought that fight to me and said it wouldn't go the distance.
Right.
And Jose rarely says anything that crosses path or that offends a fighter. But every once in a while, you got to remember, Jose's a fighter, and he doesn't back down.
Right.
I mean, look who he spars with, man. I mean, being Jose Ramirez and you spar with Mikey Garcia every day and Virgil Ortiz, I mean, come on, man. It doesn't get any better than that. Your tools are sharpened. You're ready to go.
I believe Rick made a comment of that, right? Rick Merigian?
Yeah, he makes comments all the time.
Right.
Man.
He made a comment about that. I think Teofimo made a comment also, and Rick may have spoken about it, saying that, that this is no fight. Ramirez would knock him out in, I think he said 9 or something like that.
That's his manager. That's fine. But Jose had to take care of his own side. He's a full-grown man.
Right.
Yeah, he's not worried about that.
No, not at all. And I think Teofimo is a big 135-pounder.
He is. He's a big 135-pounder.
But now we have Jose, who's probably on his last 2 fights at 140.
Well, that's the plan. Yeah. And I don't want to say I will say it because he's a stablemate. Out of respect, that's why I think Mikey Garcia's best weight will be at 140.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm never going to second guess his moves at 147s as long as they're the correct fighter. I'll give you an example when I say that statement. When I say the correct fighter, there was a press conference and one of the fighters there was Andre Ward. And in closing, I said, Andre, you had mentioned in your career before you retire, you would love to fight at heavyweight. And he said it would have to be the right heavyweight. He goes, it can't be a Lomachenko, it can't be a Lennox Lewis, it has to be the right heavyweight. So in being that said, it has to be the right welterweight, Danny Swift Garcia for a belt. Fighters as such. Now getting in there with another, Spence again, I think it'll be a different fight. And not taking anything away from Mikey, I just think Spence is not going to want to engage. He's going to continue to get on his bike. And see, Mikey likes to trade with you. Right. Mikey has that power. There's where when he fought Jesse Vargas.
Right. And you know what? But we saw Spence trade, and he likes to stay in the pocket too. He doesn't mind fighting.
Well, he had when you saw him trade, it was against my man with Styles Make Fights. Sean Porter. He had no choice because Sean Porter makes you fight. He pushes the action and takes it to you. But yes, he did stay and trade, and it was a different type of fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you though, 100%. Mikey's best weight is 140.
But he doesn't make reference there because his stablemate, Jose Ramirez, is there.
Exactly. And he wants to make a statement at 147. He wants to let everybody know, hey, you know what? I lost a fight. So what? I belong here.
Yeah.
I belong here. I lost a fight against Errol Spence.
Exactly. Pound for pound, arguably one of the best in the world, and he showed it. It was a big stage.
Exactly.
But came back and took on another big welterweight, Jesse Vargas. Jesse Vargas is a big welterweight.
Hell of a fight. I can't believe he dropped him like that.
That was a good fight, man.
Holy smokes. Man, I don't know where that right hand came out of, but I mean, he dropped him and he punished him a little bit.
They were all cool until the stare down.
Yeah.
And then stare down. A different Mikey came out because Mikey, he'll laugh, he'll smile, show respect.
Yeah.
But when he knows it's time to turn it on, he's just a fighter. He's not going to give you any edge. He's not going to back down. He's going to let you know this stare down is part of the fight.
Right.
This stare down, you're going to take it with you.
And you know what? It made it into a good fight. It made it into a much better fight than I thought it was going to be, actually. I thought Mikey was actually going to sit there and box him.
Yeah.
And Mikey went in there to fight.
Well, and at first he started giving up some right hands, which I had a little concern because you don't want to be at the end of those big right hands.
Right.
Mikey shortened the distance and made him come inside and drop that right hand. He was actually baiting him in, but Mikey was eating that left hook, but he started to counter and feint with it and made the adjustment.
I'll tell you what, I didn't think it was going to happen that way, only because Vargas had just fought at 154.
Yes.
And he came back down. So I personally thought Vargas was going to be a little strong.
Well, Vargas got paid to come down. So
he
he
did
made
get
some
paid.
good money.
He get paid.
You're going to come down. You're going to push those pizzas and Coronas away. You really are.
The carne asadas, right?
Yeah, that gets stuck in your teeth. I'll take that all day long.
Hey, you know what? Anytime.
Anytime.
But, what fight would you like to see Mikey at 147?
At 147, I would like to see Mikey, of course, and Manny Pacquiao. That fight doesn't happen. I'd like to see him against Danny Swift Garcia for a belt.
Well, they were going to make that fight.
Yes, they were.
I mean, what happened to that? It just...
Danny Garcia, there was not going to be a bout at stake, and Danny Garcia wants to fight for a belt.
Right.
And Mikey's only taking big fights, man. He's not there's no tune-ups. Mikey's at his career where he's earned it. Hey, we're taking big fights. I'm the A side here. Let's make it happen. You know, or you can call me other than the A side, but I see myself as the A side.
You know what though? That belt or not, that fight with between Danny and Mikey brings a lot of money.
It does.
It brings money to both.
Because
guys.
you're going to see the Mexicanos and Puerto Ricans.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even though Danny's real flashy and He's exactly what his nickname is, Swift.
He is.
He's a cold dude, man. I seen him in Vegas. He's a smooth dude.
I'll tell you what, man. I like Mike. I mean, Danny.
He's
Danny
cool.
Garcia.
He's cool. He's down
I
to
even
earth.
like Angel. I love.
His
Angel.
Dad
is something else. But
yeah,
he is. He's pretty swift. He's what's he always doing? His Tony Montana things, right?
Oh, he's always doing that. And the way you see him,
Yeah.
I mean, he's like that. He's there with his freaking $500 jeans,
Yep.
$1,000 T-shirt, and just rocking, just being himself, man.
Exactly.
Angel's the one that's just kind of kicking back, but keeping eyes on him, making sure, okay, everything's cool.
Exactly. And you know what? Even the fights that Danny lost, you can argue. You can make an argument.
Yes, you can.
You can
I
make
was
an
very
argument.
surprised that Keith Thurman outboxed him. I was very surprised.
Yeah.
That was probably, in my opinion, one of Keith Thurman's best performances.
I'll tell you what, though, man. Danny has a hell of a chin.
He does.
That guy can. You know what fight I 100% thought he was going to lose, and I was there? Him against Lucas Matisse, and that dude can take a
Oh,
punch.
man, I was surprised.
He can take a
Danny
punch.
made a statement that fight.
He did. He showed everything, and he dropped him. You know,
Yes.
he dropped him
Yeah.
in the 11th round, I think. But that showed me the chin that Danny Garcia had, and he took that chin up to 147. He's
Yeah.
taking the best punches from, the hardest dudes.
Yeah.
And I mean, it seems like they don't even phase him.
No, and he's a piece of the puzzle that often gets overlooked. I will say no. I don't even want to go there.
He's
man.
from Philly, man.
Yeah, he's from Philly.
He's from Philly.
I'll go there on a comment. Once Jose moves up to 147, then I'm going to release some video on a conversation that I had with Danny Swift Garcia. Now's not the time because I'm not that guy.
Gotcha.
We just got to wait
talk about it.
and just know that it's there.
We're gonna have to wait now.
Just know it was there and that comment was made.
Tune in, right?
Yeah,
Tune in.
absolutely. Tune in because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that fight would be great. I'd love to see that. But is that a fight that has been talked about?
Well, it has been talked about, but it's mainly, like I said, Manny Pacquiao and Mikey. Manny Pacquiao's also been spoken with Bud Crawford.
Right.
And also Manny Pacquiao's in it. Everybody wants to fight Manny because when you fight Manny, you're going to get paid like you never got paid before. And a lot of people want to fight, Mikey Garcia too. I mean, even Regis Prograis, he said, I wouldn't mind fighting Mikey.
Right. Well, Regis has been talking about Broner too, so that might be good.
Well, at first Broner started talking about him. His old thing, Regis, the last time I spoke to him, his old thing is, look, man, I don't care who it is. Before I move up to 147, I want the belt back at 140 pounds. I got something to prove before I move up.
Yeah.
I don't want to move up and then have to come down. And he went back and forth because he had that deal that was already signed with, oh my gosh, who's my guy, man? He moved all the way up, didn't want to get in there. Jose knocked him out. They had a fight, it was scheduled. Maurice Hooker.
Oh, Maurice Hooker, yeah.
Maurice Hooker.
Oh, when he unified, yeah.
When Maurice Hooker said, he said this, and he did. People change their mind all the time. He said, I'm not moving up to 147. He goes, I'm staying at 140. I actually asked him the question. I said, rumor has he moved? He goes, no, it's just a rumor. People are saying this and people saying that. Regis got that interview and he started blasting it out there. He goes, what's up with this picture right here?
Right.
He was going to stay up or down. So he let that go. I understand. Because Maurice Hooker's a big man. He is big. To make 140, that's really asking a lot. I see him. He's doing very well at 147. He's going to be stronger in being able to use that right hand and that jab that he has.
He reminds me of like a Robert Easter, just tall.
Yeah, he does.
Thin, lean.
He does.
But he's a big dude. And he can fit into a lot of weight classes.
He does. He
Yeah.
does. He also reminds me of what's the old school fighter who's now the trainer of Deontay Wilder. Man, in the 80s, one of the great Olympic teams ever put together, assembled. You had Pernell Whitaker, you had
can't think of his name.
Evander Holyfield, and you had Maldrick Taylor. You had, gosh, man, it's right at the tip of my tongue.
I
It'll
can't
come
think
out.
of the name right now either.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about, though.
Exactly. It'll happen when the show's over.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
As soon as it goes off. But, that'd be a
Mark
great fight.
Breland, my man.
There you go.
What are you talking about?
Mark
Keeping
Breland.
that left hand down, trying to bait you and drop the right hand. Mark Breland. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Mark Breland.
What do you think of that rematch of it? Or not the rematch, the trilogy if it happens?
I'm looking forward to that. And I've asked a lot of trainers on here, a lot of other fighters. I said, what are the keys to victory if you had Deontay Wilder? What can he improve on? What can you fix at this point? So, it's always been his balance, but nobody really made a big deal about it because he continued to win. I know he overly commits himself in that big right hand, but when he lands it, I mean, it's there. And see, one thing about Tyson Fury is he got in his head, man. He really did. He got in his head.
He did.
He did. And that played a big role, a big effect on there. And he was the bully that night.
I think he got into his head in the first fight when he got dropped twice and Deontay just saw him get right up. And he was like,
Man,
Holy shit.
that is, just to get up like that, I
Yeah.
mean, wow. He was out, and just muscle memory, where did that come from?
But I'll tell you what, man, I did not expect that demolishment from him on the second fight. I did not expect Tyson to just throw him around like a rag doll.
You know, I went to that press conference, went to the fight, and Deontay Wilder, he was more in fight mode, okay? He's just kind of hanging out, kind of real elusive. And one thing about Tyson Fury, he was very calm, collective, and professional. I mean, he is a true professional. I don't know how he does it. It's stone-faced. He knows when to turn the camera on. And when you look at him, you see this big guy. He looks slim in person. His face is trim. I mean, the man's 6'9", knows how to handle himself, and he does have the gift. He is who he says he is.
That is a big dude. And he weighed in, what, like almost 60 pounds?
280?
60
280,
pounds
yeah.
over,
Yeah, exactly.
over Deontay. I mean, that had a huge...
And he was still elusive, still had his speed, decent enough speed, and to be effective. And, he caught Deontay at the end of those punches.
Well, like he said, he's like, a guy my size shouldn't be able to move this way. This guy moves like he's a lightweight,
You know, I've said it before, he's the Larry Bird of boxing. Because you see Larry Bird and you see this guy and you go, oh, this guy ain't stopping me, or this guy's not going to do nothing. And before you know it, he's stripping you, hitting threes, and you're looking up in the air and you see another championship banner.
Right at your face. Right in your face.
You see Tyson Fury in here thinking, that's not the ultimate heavyweight. He doesn't look like a heavyweight. And then this guy's moving, very agile, and then he has some pop. You got to remember, gypsies were born to fight.
And he's that weight, you can't punch and have all that weight and you not feel it. You're going to feel it.
The thing about it is, Omar, he punches down on his opponents.
He does.
So that gravity, you cannot mess around with gravity, man. There's that force of nature.
I think that was
he is the true gypsy king.
I think that was one of the biggest things with Deontay. He was always taller than everybody else.
Yeah.
And when he fought Tyson, he's now looking up at this other.
I mean, Riddick Bowe, he had to look up to Andrew Galata or face to face, and he gave him, except for them low blows, man, which was crazy. I mean, he finally had to fight somebody and look him straight in the eyes.
Yeah.
Bones Jones' last fight in the UFC, he's looking at this cat straight in the eyes. Like I said, Tyson Fury was the bully that night.
He was.
He imposed his will.
He was, and I don't know how much the training in Detroit had to do with it, but he brought that Kronk stuff with him. He brought the Kronk.
Yes, he did. He did. He also brought something else too, man. If we were on the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass podcast, I'll talk about it. But I'll talk about it anyways. I remember he did an interview. I'm not sure if it was with Michelle Phelps. He says, I do this 7 times a day.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it must have worked, man.
I remember that.
But he did, because I was at that press
conference. Part of his workout.
Yeah, it is part of his workout. I was at that press conference. It was myself and the whole team, Fighter's Voice team, KP, at Fox Studios. And Deontay Wilder, he made reference to it. He said, he said something like, oh, you do that? He goes, well, what's up then? Or something. And Tyson Fury goes, well, take it out. Let's see what you're working with. Hey, he called him on it. He said, take it out. Let's see what you're working with. I'm telling you, those are the mind games that he set in. He didn't back down from it. He knew when to bring Deontay close, right? To filter him in, and he knew when to just throw him out to the wolves, man.
Because you know what?
Freaking master.
Every time you would see them engage, and you'd see Deontay, and he went back with like this, I don't know if it was like a nervous laughter, but almost like he was pissed.
Yeah.
While Tyson just walked away laughing and having a good old time with the rest of his family every single time.
Exactly.
And it never changed.
Exactly. When Deontay lost it and pushed Tyson, instead of say, don't get in my space, he already won. I got in your head already.
He had it in him already.
You have no control.
Exactly.
And those are the mind games. Those are the Sugar Ray Leonard mind games, Roberto Duran mind games. And you look at those games over and over. Muhammad Ali. I mean, you take it with you, man. Whether you don't want to or not, it's there and it's growing. It's affecting you because you're just like, man, I don't want to hit this. Or if he comes here again, I'm going to hit him. And now you're not even fighting your opponent. You're fighting yourself.
Absolutely. Well, what do you think about this Friday? How fast does it end? Because I think it's ending quick.
I think it's going to go 5 rounds, man. I think it is. Virgil Ortiz, he's on the big screen. He's on the main event, and he wants to make a good account of himself. He wants that opportunity. You got to remember, Virgil Ortiz also made reference, hey, I want to fight Bud Crawford. And Bud Crawford needs to think to himself, they all want to fight me because they all want to be me. And they're not calling out any other 147-pounders. They're calling out Bud Crawford.
And I think Virgil, even now, has a hell of a chance against Crawford.
That'd be a good fight, man. But I'm going to say this. Bud Crawford, he's a whole different type of animal, man. I mean, he is just, he's an ex-wrestler, so he knows that discipline. He's very competitive. He likes to stay in his zone. He doesn't really care too much for enticing interviews.
Right.
He's going to be himself, and he's never shied away from being himself, whether he's talking to Max Kellerman or the Fighter's Voice asking him for an interview.
Right. And I think he was on a show the other day when he was talking about a Max's show.
Yeah.
On Max Homer show. He was talking about. I think he even mentioned Jose Ramirez, and that's when. And then I think he tweeted afterwards, like, "I'm going to crush him." And all that. Wow, that's bold, man. But,
well, you got to remember.
Yeah.
Stablemates. When Jose fought Maurice Hooker, he came in the ring with Maurice Hooker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
But just months before, he went to the ESPYs with Jose Ramirez.
Right.
Well, top rank, but at the end of the day, and stablemates, fighters, they're going to be true to their gym and to their colleagues and to their stablemates, man. And I get it. It's a business. But even coming out of the Olympics, they knew they had the possibility of facing each other.
Absolutely. And when you get to the pros, you just want the belts. It's kind of the problem that he's having with facing Sean Porter. He doesn't want to fight him because they're good friends.
Yeah.
But man, when you guys are the top guys in the welterweight division, unfortunately, you might have to fight each other.
Yeah, you know what? I may want to see I'll watch that fight, but I want to see different matchups other than that. I'd love to see. When I was talking to him, he said, "Okay." I talked to him at the weigh-in of Jamal Herring, and he said, "We were talking about weights," and he says, "Who should I fight?" That's what he tells me, and I said, "Well, I'm not going to say Garnelo like everybody else is."
Right.
And I told him, "So let me give it some thought." That's actually what I said.
Right.
I just want to shake your hand. Shook his hand. We talked a little bit. The very next day, I saw him at the fight. He was with Brad Goodman. And as I'm coming in, I said, Danny Swift Garcia, he's a good fight. He said, we got to break that.
He actually mentioned Danny the other day.
Yeah, he said, good fight.
He said, Danny and Errol's supposed to fight. That's not a walk in the park for Errol. But I would love to see that fight. You know what? Honestly,
He didn't talk trash on him. He respected that name.
I'd like to see Danny fight anybody. I like Danny.
Yeah, I do
like
too.
Danny a lot.
I like what he brings.
Yeah, and you know what? Right now you mentioned him. Oh, go ahead.
No, a lot of people don't know Danny Garcia's his dad's testimony, and they just see this hothead dad. And a lot of people hate him. They don't know that he was battling with cancer. He kicked cancer in the ass, and every day that he wakes up, it's a victory for him.
Right.
And he didn't shy away from it.
Right. And they have a good working relationship.
Oh, they do.
Angel Garcia doesn't have that father-son thing in the ring. Sometimes the father-son thing doesn't work out as well.
Yeah.
They are trainer-fighter in the ring, and they know how to separate that relationship. And outside of the ring, then they act a fool together. But inside of the ring, they do just that, just a trainer-fighter, and they have a good relationship. It's a good father-son team.
No, it is. And talking about a good father-son team, tomorrow we're going to have Gabriel Flores Jr. We're going to talk about the moves that he's making. First, signing as a management deal with Jay Prince, man. And we're talking about Jay Prince, who has people on his roster like Andre Ward, who's worked with Floyd Mayweather, big names in the rap industry, who knows business, who knows numbers, and every single fighter that he's been with has turned into a millionaire. So being that said, I talked to Gabe Sr., who's very animated on getting everything structured correctly for his son, and as well as he should be. But now he's in good hands, man. To add this piece to the puzzle, the classy Andre Ward, man, takes on the sport, beat the sport, and treats the sport exactly the way it should be treated, with class, inside and outside of the ring.
Andre looks like he can still fight now.
He still looks trim.
He still looks good.
He still looks trim, man.
That dude's Andre Ward's, his skills were just something else. You saw him get dropped. You saw him get dropped a few times, but he always came back to and found a way.
Not too many people get up when the crusher drops you.
No.
He got up and
smiled.
Yeah, exactly. And see, a lot of fights, those are most avoided, because once you have a close fight like that, they avoid the rematch. No, he welcomed it because he knew, okay, that was just a shell of what I can be. I'm ready to make the transition. I know what I'm going to do. And he put a stamp on it, man.
He did.
He surprised me too. Just the fact that he stood right in front of him and initiated the aggressiveness against a man that can knock you out with one punch.
I think he kind of destroyed Crusher.
Oh, he hasn't been the same since then. Exposed him with a body shot.
He has not been the same since then.
No, he hasn't.
And nobody ever saw, nobody ever witnessed Sergey get hurt the way Andre hurt him with that initial right hand. And after that, it's like everybody started going right to him.
He had no answer to that body shot.
Didn't.
He didn't. He didn't like it.
He didn't, yeah.
And Andre Ward knew that, and he exposed himself. But when I say expose himself, every time you drop to go to the body, you're exposing your chin.
Right.
But he was able to do it in perfect timing and just the willingness to say, hey, I'll go ahead and take it because I'm going to bank on these body shots. And it did take over the fight.
And I'll tell you what, if any of those skills transfer over to Gabe Flores and add that to his toolbox.
You know what? His mind's already thinking. You got to remember, it's been thinking for a while. You don't just take this kid on overnight. He's been thinking and saying, okay. He's not going to, this is Andre Ward. Yeah. He's not going to put his stamp of approval over this water, over this pen, or over this phone.
Right.
If this phone is a great phone, which it is, you see the labels on there? He's going to invest on it.
Yeah.
I want the best. I'm going to invest my name on the best because it has potential. I mean, look who he had. Shakur Stevenson, before he even turned pro. He's a big part of his life. So to invest and say, I'm going to be a part of Team Flores, hey, he's banking on what he feels and his experience and what he knows. Gabe Flores is going to be a world champion. Not because of Andre Ward, but because him lining him up in the right avenues that he needs to be in. His dad pushing, the whole team. At the end of the day, Gabe Flores Jr. still has to fight, but he has a great team behind him that's supporting him.
Yeah, and when you have that, it just makes you push that much harder.
It
just
does.
Makes you, he just bought his first house in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
And what kid that young does that? And he's dedicated to his craft.
And you know what he told me too? He told me this was about a year ago. I'm probably going to put the pressure on you, Gabe. Let's see if you remember this. He goes, yeah, man, when I do some stuff, Rich, he goes, I'm going to buy my dad a Rollie.
Oh.
I go, like that? He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm going to hook up my pops, man.
I'm going to do it. I'll see.
Now Rollie.
Now you just put the pressure on him, man.
Yeah, well, shoot, Rolex, shoot, man. And you know, and G will take it too. His pops, oh, yeah. He reminds me of a freaking Mexican Danny Swift Garcia with that flash. He really does, man.
And he's got the story behind him, too.
Oh, he has a terrific story, man.
Yeah, he does.
Sad if you know exactly what went down, but to take that and to make something positive of it, and to have that energy and let it fuel you and let you turn something tragic turn into something beautiful, which is fulfilling what his mother instilled in him and what she saw in him. I mean, man, pretty soon you're going to see the Gabe Flores movie.
I can't wait.
And sky's the limit, man. I mean, whenever we have Dad here, I mean, he's so animated. He's one of he's one of my favorite guests I like to have.
I've seen him, and it'd be cool to meet him.
But I'll introduce you to him, man. And he does love that modelo.
Oh,
he does.
We'll bring it on
and
over.
And that seafood too, man.
We'll just bring glasses, right? So.
Yeah, you can bring those too, man. Yeah, exactly. No, he'll make it happen, man. But whatever he says, it usually pretty much happens, man. Yeah. And you got to remember, he's making some moves, and he's going to make a lot of people happy in these moves. But the most important people that he's going to make happy is his son, himself, and his team. So hats off to the big, bold moves that he's making. These are power moves, man. He's in a great place right now.
Well, I can't wait to keep watching him and keep winning and watch him get the big fights, Just watch him get to that big stage because he's ready. He's sold out. He is an entire arena already.
He is ready. Omar, I'm going to be serious. I had all these freaking notes right here. I mean, all these things we're going to cover. But it just went a different direction. And when I know it's going a different direction, I'm not going to move the pieces. Because if you got a nice jab, I'm not going to tell you shorten your jab just to draw that right hand. I'm going to utilize that jab. But being that said, is because wherever the show wanted to go, there's where he went. I know, ladies and gentlemen, we only touched on a couple topics, and we didn't get into detail. But just let you know, man, the man will be back on the show. So send your questions and answers. And like I said, man, I see this fight Friday going 5 rounds. I also see Evan Sanchez being victorious within 3 rounds, man. That's my take.
Absolutely. And I agree with the 5 or less.
Yeah.
I think Virgil's just Virgil's going to just overpower him. I think, and he's going to get inside, and he's got everything. He's got the power to the face. He's got the power to the body. He's got the power to everything, and his skills are just. I can't wait. I can't wait for Friday.
And he does. I'll tell you a quick story, man. We're getting ready. We're shooting an episode of the Fighter's Voice at Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy, and on there I'm talking to the freaking legend myself, man. And Virgil, because he was sparring, so I was giving him his time, and he starts to hit the door. Okay, as a fan, I wanted to say, okay, hey,
get over there.
But as a professional, I have the man, the myth, the legend in front of me. So I know, Virgil, I have you on the show, and we'll get to meet each other because I've been to the gym 2 times, and 2 different times we were conducting business, your business and our business. So Virgil Ortiz, man, maybe after this show, man, we'll get you on because I know we're going to have Roberto Diaz coming in next Wednesday. We're going to do a recap on this week's fight. And we didn't even touch UFC. Tomorrow we got the UFC veteran himself, the co-host with the most, ESCOVEDO, along with Gabriel Flores Jr. And we're also going to break down these MMA fights that are happening this Saturday. And also, get Gabriel Flores just to feel comfortable, man.
Yep. And you just touched up on the UFC Fight Island.
Oh, Fight Island, man.
My goodness.
It's super necessary.
Right?
It is.
They've got a good thing going over there.
It is. Speaking of super necessary, I want to, oh, man.
Come on.
We'll just say me and Mike and Fromwitz had a great conversation. Just remember, super necessary. Okay? If I say something, then yes, exactly. It's super necessary. Gotcha. Oh, that's the donkey. That's part of the donkey talking shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And when we have ESCOVEDO, that's where he just comes in. No, I'm sorry. The jackass on the mic.
Uh-oh.
Some kind of something. That's Cole's thing. When the donkey comes in, man.
That's when he goes off.
Oh, yeah, he goes off.
Oh, man.
Jackass on the mic. That's a part of a segment, man.
That's your UFC guy.
Yeah,
right
we got to
there.
get you a segment, man. I don't know what we got to call it. Shoot, Corona Light or something. We'll call it something. Matter of fact, we got to have one later on today, man.
I'm the Tecate light guy.
Oh, are you?
I am.
Oh, that's very light.
But I drink anything.
Yeah?
I drink anything. It doesn't matter. You know this. You've been in my house.
Yeah, I've been
In my
there.
house.
Oh, man.
I don't know what you bring. I don't know what I bring, but we'll drink it.
Hey, there
Right?
you go. There you go, too. And KP, too. And KP, I'm going to put KP on blast, man. The dude has been posting all these food recipes, man, and not one time has he brought any here.
I was going to say, I
want to try this
I don't
stuff.
smell any food here right now.
No, man. The dude can get down.
What in the
The
world?
dude can get down, man. No, he can't.
Sounds good.
No, we got a good team here at the Fighter's Voice. Omar, I appreciate you coming aboard, man. It's definitely not going to be your last time. I love the chemistry, and I love what you bring to the show, that audition that you do bring to the show, that little bit of spunk, what we need. And, hey, man, let the fans and the followers know what to expect this Friday on Golden Boy Promotions.
Brother, it was fun. It was fun to be here. First time here with you,
Yeah.
and I had a good time. And I think Virgil takes it in 5 or less. And then we're just going to see him keep just plowing through these next couple opponents until he hits those pound-for-pound guys. And we're going to have some good
Who do you
fights.
think he's going to call out first at 147?
Oh, I think he's going to call Errol. I think he's calling him right. I think he's already called him out. But
Wow. Let's see that.
I think they want that huge Texas showdown. But
That makes sense.
But-
I never looked at it that way, but that does make sense.
yeah, but I think they do want it, obviously with fans.
Yeah.
Because I think the Cowboy Stadium would probably they'd probably fill it up too, just like they did with Mikey and Errol.
Hey, I agree.
Yep.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from my man Omar. Rich Ortiz, your host of The Fighter's Voice. See you guys tomorrow with Gabriel Flores Jr., who'll be our guest, along with the co-host with the most, breaking down this Saturday's Fight Island events. ESCOVEDO will be back in the studio. It's a wrap here, Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Never down for the count. It's just another wrap. Thanks for listening to the Fighter's Voice Radio Show. Catch us again next week.
Same when, same how.
And always stay connected to the Fighter's Voice on social media. So, on behalf of special guests and the whole crew right here at the Fighter's Voice Radio Show, saying see ya next week, right here on the Fighter's Voice.